Hello everyone, welcome to Bearware the Terrible. So today we have a new deck for you called the Triple Curse. We have two versions, as you can see, A and B over here. We'll be showing the deck list for both those versions, but for gameplay, we'll only be showing version A. So stick with us to the end of this video to watch both games in Triple Curse format A. So the reason it's called Triple Curse is because we have 3 layers of curses for this deck. So the first layer, we are gonna use Biting Whirlpool to add to stack damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon, on our opponent's Pokemon, with as long as they attach energies from their hand onto their Pokemon. So if they manage to avoid that curse, or if they manage to bypass it with either an attack or an ability or an item, a trainer card to attach energies from their discard pile or their deck, or switch energies from their Pokemon or whatever. For example, a Metal Saucer or a Bolton with the Electrify attack, or a Crimson Flare, Braixen Charizard Tag Team GX attack or whatever, or ability to even Charizard's ability to attach energy from the deck or whatever, then that Biting Whirlpool would be deactivated. So if that layer of curse gets deactivated, we have our second layer to add damage counters on it. And I'll explain later why we need to stack damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon/active Pokemon. So the second layer of curse, or the second tier, we have Koffing and Wheezing's Blow Away Bomb paired with Roxy to allow us to put 1 or 2 damage counters each turn for 4 times, a maximum of 4 times, because we only have 4 Roxys, to stack up damage on all of our opponent's Pokemon. It puts 1 damage counter for each Blow Away Bomb card that you discard. You get to put 1 damage counter on each of your opponent's Pokemon. So it's each of your opponent's Pokemon. For Biting Whirlpool, it's only 1 Pokemon, as long as they attach energy from their hand to their Pokemon. Put 2 damage counter on that particular Pokemon, not each. So Blow Away Bomb's curse is different, as you can see. It's different in terms of how it gets activated, in terms of how many Pokemon gets affected, in terms of how many damage counter we get to place, and also we have our third tier of curse, which is Sigilyph. Sigilyph's counter attack allows us to put 3 damage counter on the attacking Pokemon. So as long as your opponent attacks Sigilyph, if it is damaged by any attack, if it does avoid the ability does avoid damage counters though. So for example, if they have a Mr. Mime with the I can't remember what the attack is, but the Mr. Mime allows the opponent to put damage counters on your active Pokemon. So it does Sigilyph is, if Sigilyph is not damaged, if it is damage countered, then the ability won't work. So this ability is a bit iffy as well. It's kind of the same as Arctozote's ability. It's not for sure that it will get activated, but it is a different way of activation, as we explained just now with the Blow Away Bomb curse and the Biting Whirlpool curse and the counter attack curse. It's a different way, it's a different type of curse. So if any of them gets deactivated, or if any of them is completely useless throughout the entire game, we get to activate the other 2 curses. We get to activate any of the other 2, or maybe we get to activate only 1, but it doesn't matter. As long as we have all those 3 in this deck, we get to use them as we need during the game, according to our opponent's deck. So it really depends on the particular match, that what type of deck you are matched against. It really depends on that. So that's the reason we have 3 tiers of curses, is just in case any of the other 2 doesn't work, we have 1 more, you know, we have 3 layers. So and if all of those get activated, it's even better. We get to stack so much damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon that Psychic Assault can do a lot of damage. It really gives a huge boost to Psychic Assault's attack, and it also does a huge boost to our main card, which was when I made this deck, it was supposed to be the main card, but now the main card is both Sigilyph and Galvantula. But originally, I wanted Galvantula to be the main card because it is Vivid Voltage, and also Shocking Pursuit actually does more damage if we stack enough damage counters, it does more damage than Psychic Assault. If we stack only 2 damage counters, then Psychic Assault actually do more damage than Shocking Pursuit. But you get the point, Shocking Pursuit is actually more powerful than Psychic Assault. So we only have 3 Galvantulas in this deck, 3 Joltics and 3 Galvantulas, only 3 Arctozolts, and we need 4 Roxies and 4 Blow Away Bomb cards, because Blow Away Bomb is the most important curse, because we get to activate it. We are the ones that get to initiate the damage counter attack, the damage counter placing by using our Roxy. Whereas Biting Whirlpool and Counter Attack, by the way, Counter Attack is paired with Horror Energy and Rocky Helmet. So if we put a Horror Energy and a Rocky Helmet on our Sigilyph, Counter Attack does 7 damage counters. If our opponent attacks Sigilyph, we get to place 7 damage counters on their attacking Pokemon if we have a Horror Energy and a Rocky Helmet already attached to our Sigilyph. If we have another Horror Energy, it's up to a total of 9 damage counters. And that is not inclusive of our Blow Away Bomb curse and our Biting Whirlpool curse that we get to stack even more damage counters on 1 turn alone. And we also have Oricorio to add cards into our hand. We have Speed Energies. I'm sorry, I think I was talking about Roxy just now. Can't remember what I was talking about. But let's just move on with the deck. So we have Carolus to get our rare fossil out as quickly as possible. We only have 3 Arctozolts in this deck because I want the main one to be Blow Away Bomb. As I explained earlier, Blow Away Bomb is the curse that we get to activate, whereas the other 2 relies on your opponent. So Biting Whirlpool relies on your opponent attaching energy to their Pokemon. If they don't attach energy from their hand to their Pokemon, our Psychic Assault only does 30 damage. It does only 30. It does nothing else. So if they haven't attached energy yet, if we haven't set up our Arctozolts yet, if we haven't set up enough damage counters on our opponent yet, if our opponent haven't attacked our Sigilyph yet, then we, on our turn, we get to use Roxy to stack damage already and do at least 50 damage with our Psychic Assault on their active Pokemon. And we also get to collect those little damage counters on their benched Pokemon, because it is quite important to collect those little damage counters already in the first few turns, so that in the next few turns it stacks up and it adds more and more and more, and eventually we only need to hit once to knock out a GX, a tag team, or even a V Max. So it is really important to stack up already in the first few turns. So we also have BD because it is a very high energy cost attack. So it's 2 energy. It's not that high, but it's 2, and we don't have Turbo Patch. We don't have a lot of cards that allow you to attach energy quickly for this deck. We only have the basic cards. We only have special energies. We can't attach more than 1 per turn, except with BD, and we only have 1 BD in this deck, and we only have 4 basic energies in this deck. BD only allows you to attach a basic energy to one of your benched Pokemon, so that is very restricted, so we have to be careful there. And we only have 2 Rocky Helmets. We have 3 Carolus's, 1 Boss's Order, and 1 Bird Keeper. We have 2 Pokemon Communications and 2 Quick Balls. We have 4 Evolutions, 4 Sigilyphs, 4 Blow Away Bomb combo cards. We have 1 of each Zacian, one of each Zacian and Oricorio GX. And we have 3 Pokegears. We have 3 of each Galvantula and Joltik. And we have 3 of each special energies, Horror and Speed. And we have 2 of each basic energies. So that is the deck list for version A. Let's go on to version B. Version B is basically the same thing, except we don't have Galvantula. So instead of Galvantula, we have Turbo Patch, 2 Turbo Patch, we have 2 Viridian Forest, and we have 2 Ordinary Rod. So Galvantula and Sigilyph was the attacking Pokemons for our version A. For version A, we have a total of 7 Pokemons that we get to put in play as our attacking Pokemon. So if any of them gets knocked out, we have a total of 7 basically. For this deck, for version B, we only have 4 Sigilyphs to attack because we don't have lightning energy, we only have psychic energy for this deck. So we only have 4 Sigilyphs to attack. That is why we need Ordinary Rod to put those Sigilyphs back, or to even put blow away bombs back and to recycle the blow away bomb, or to even recycle Arctozolt if it gets discarded by mistake or with a Didin GX. We don't have Oricorio in this deck, by the way. We are replacing Oricorio. Sorry, as you probably can see now, we replaced Oricorio with a Didin GX because we want it to be very fast. This deck is based on speed instead of damage. The previous deck is based on damage because Galvantula does a lot of damage if we stack enough damage counters. For example, if we stack 11 damage counters, we get to do a total of 220 damage, which stacks up to 330 damage already. And if on the next turn they attack us with a Rocky Helmet on, we get to deal 350 damage, a total of 350 damage stacked up on their VMAX already. And if they don't have a big charm or a heavy boots, then we get to knock it out immediately with only a Galvantula 1 prize card. So basically they take 1 prize card for the Galvantula and we take 3 prize card for the tag team or the VMAX that we get to kill with our Galvantula. So for this deck, we don't do much damage with Psychic Assault because it does only an additional 10 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. But we get to speed it up. We get to speed up the energy attachment with Turbo Patch, with Viridian Forest to discard basic energies, and Turbo Patch to attach those discarded basic energies to our basic Pokemon, which is only our Sigilyph. We only can attack with our Sigilyph or Oricorio, but we don't have an Oricorio in this deck. Oricorio is useless, by the way, because it has 3 energy attack calls for only 100 damage. It's basically useless. We don't want to be using Oricorio for attacking. And we also have 1 BD and we have 2 Ordinary Rods, as we explained earlier why it's there. And we have 2 Rocky Helmets. Yep, the other cards remain the same. We only have 1 Pokemon Communication and 3 we have 3 Quick Balls. The reason we have 3 Quick Balls is because we have much less basic Pokemons in this deck. We don't have Joltix, as you can see, no more Joltix. So we need those Quick Balls instead of Pokemon Communication. Pokemon Communication is not that important. And we need Evolution Incense. The reason it's kept as 4 is because we need to call out Arctozolt and we need to call out Weezing for Roxy. And so that's why we kept the Evolution Incense as 4. And we kept the Horror Energy as 3 as well. And kept the Carolis as 3, Rare Fossil 3, Arctozolt 3. Everything is the same except for Didin, Ordinary Rod, Turbo Patch, and Viridian Forest. So that's all. Let's go ahead and demonstrate our Triple Curse version A for 2 games. So the weakness, the main weakness of this deck is Hammer, Crushing Hammer. If they have a lot of Crushing Hammers, or if they have a lot of Team Yells, even any cards that discard energy from our Pokemon, then we are basically done for, because it is a very slow deck, to be honest. Our deck is very slow because we attach only 1 energy at a time, and all our attacking Pokemon requires at least 2 energies to be able to do anything, to be able to deal any damage to our opponent's Pokemon. So we need to attach energy quickly in the first few turns, if we can. Definitely gonna use that Quick Ball. It's better to set up your Sigilyph first. I would probably recommend having 2 Zacians in this deck. Instead of an Oricorio, have 2 Zacians, because Zacian allows you to speed draw in the first few turns. Oricorio only allows you to draw when you're later on in the game. It only allows you to draw later on in the game when its ability is activated. It needs to get activated when your opponent knocks out your Pokemon. If your Pokemon is poisoned, or if they place damage counter on your Pokemon, if it gets knocked out by special condition or by damage counters, then you don't get to use its ability. So Oricorio is very conditional. So I would recommend using a more sure card. But the good thing about Oricorio is you get to draw on your turn. Whereas Zacian, you get to draw and your turn ends, you pass the turn. You draw and you pass the turn with Zacian. So they get to marnie your hand, and they get to even reset stamp or use a Melamar's attack that select one of your card and put it at the bottom of your deck. They get to really screw up your hand on their turn, so it's kind of risky that way. So everything have its risks, you know, everything is not certain. Basically, it's always a gamble, everything is a gamble. But I kind of prefer Zacian because in the first few turns already you can draw, especially when you can't do anything with only one energy attached. So I'm probably gonna use Bird Keeper here. Let's hope they don't bosses order us, because that is our only switch card. This is our only switch card in the whole deck. And if it gets put in the price card, I really don't know what's gonna happen. So that's really good. We already have our Roxy and 2 Evolution Incense prepared. I don't want to be drawing too many, because if we draw too many, they might just marnie us. We already have what we need anyways. And they are not resistant towards poison. So the reason it's not resistant towards the purple type energy is because it is in the Sword and Shield expansion. So for Sword and Shield, poison type is the black symbol. The black symbol is poison type. So the old steel type for Sun and Moon, from Sun and Moon and below, the old steel type are resistant towards poison type, which is purple. Purple for the old expansions. For the new expansions, purple is no longer poison type. So that is why the new expansions steel type is resistant to bug type instead. I think it's grass or bug, I'm not sure, but steel is resistant to the leaf energy. So I can already knock it out the next turn by stacking 9 damage counters on it if they don't do anything to my Sigilyph. Okay, that's good. Should I Roxy? I think I should. I'm gonna Roxy before getting that one. I might actually do one, just in case I get a Careless. If I get a Careless, I'm gonna use a Careless. There's no point Carelessing actually. Biting Whirlpool does nothing now. You know what? Let's just do one. Alright. No Careless. I'm just gonna Roxy. Alright, we got a Careless. No rare fossil though. If only we have a trainer mail. You know, there's no item cards that allow you to draw trainer from the top few cards of your deck. In the past, there's the trainer mail that, you know, you can get a rare fossil with, but only with the expanded format. So am I gonna get a Joltik? I could actually Roxy the next turn, but that would be useless. Let's get a Joltik and let's attach energy. I just realized that I haven't attached an energy on this turn. Would have wasted that energy attachment, which is not good. Oh, and we got a fossil with our speed energy. Really, really good. And that's a Jirachi down. Let's hope they don't get a Charizard the next turn. If they get it, at least we get to stack damage counters on it, right? At least we get 5, 6, 7. I think 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 7 times 3 is already 210. So Shocking Pursuit, instead of, you know, you multiply your opponent's the damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon, you multiply that by 3. Is the same thing, you know. It does 20 damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. It's the same thing as multiply the damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon by 3. So if they attack us, they are done for. Unless if they kill our Joltik with a boss's order or something. Oh, I really hate boss's order. It gives you the advantage, but it also gives the opponent a crazy advantage. And we only have one boss's order, by the way, in this deck. No Paul Pads, no Eldegoss to recall it. But we do have a Pokegear though. Pokegear to draw it out of the deck if it's there. If it's in the prize card, then we can't do anything. It's looking good here. I'm not sure why they attached to their Oricorio. Maybe they want to switch or something. They just killed our Zacian. That is not good. Okay, let's see if we can blow away bomb. No, that is useless. Let's just kill it with a Sigilyph, I guess. We can actually use our Oricorio. It's always good practice to check your deck, the number of your deck before using Oricorio, because you might actually deck yourself out. With Oricorio and Roxy especially, it's very dangerous. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do here really. Let's just draw some more. No, I want to save that just in case they marnie us. Okay, we can actually Roxy again and do more damage to their Charizard. We have 2 more Roxys, so wait a minute. Should I Arctozolt them? Let's hope we get an Arctozolt with our... Oh my god, I don't know what to do. Yep, let's hope we get an Arctozolt with our Roxy. No Arctozolt. Okay. At least we get that one. So that's already 7, and we already hit it more than 11. 11 plus 7 is already dead. Okay, so if it attacks us, then he's dead. I'm not sure if I want to touch it here or on the Sigilyph. Let's just do that. Let's do that one just because we can't attach any more energies. If we can attach energy, I would have put a Sigilyph, but we can't, so let's just do that. Okay, it's looking pretty good. If they boss's order again, I really don't know what to do. Would have been better if we have a Arctozolt though. So we have already placed the first layer curse. I think the first layer was blow away bomb. For this game, our first layer is blow away bomb. Our second tier curse is the biting whirlpool. And now the third layer is counter attack. There we go, biting whirlpool. And then counter attack with horror energy and rocky helmet for a total of 770. If they switch it out for that one, it's not gonna get knocked out, but it's still gonna get pretty badly damaged. But I kind of hope they attack with this one. Battle Sense again. Let's look at their discard pile. How many Leons? 1 Leon. They don't need many to kill us. 1 Rod already in their discard pile. No Paul Pads. Quick Ball. 4 rare candies already. There we go. Thank goodness they killed us with that one. So one Charizard down, no more rare candies for them. That's really weird. So they're probably gonna Charmeleon this one. 2 more Charizards to go. Let's put that one. Oh my god, I don't know what to do. If we have 3 Arctozolts, then that's gonna be 60 times 2. No point having that many Arctozolts, because 60 times 2 is not gonna kill it. It's a free switch basically. A rare fossil sometimes is a free switch. Sigilyph. Let's put a Sigilyph on. I thought that was a rare fossil. Okay. This is not dead. Spa. Yep. So we actually need to use double Roxy. I mean, you know what I mean. Roxy double blow away bomb. Okay, double bomb. For 180 damage to kill the Roxy. Sorry, to kill the Oricorio. I'm not gonna use Orico because I don't have Marnie in this deck. Do I? I don't remember. I don't think I have. Okay. This is scary. I'm gonna put one back. Nah. Yeah, I'm gonna put one back just in case. And just look through my deck. Oh, I do have a Marnie. Oh, I should have called a Joltik actually. Oh well. I can actually call a Marnie the next turn if they don't reset Stemmus or Marnie us. Okay, let's just do that. Oh, they're a bird type. Oh, it's not a bird type. It's a ghost type. My bad. If it's a bird type, it would be weak against lightning, and I would be wasting my Roxy. Well, it's not a waste because it puts it all over the place. Oh, they just conceded. And we won that game. We won a Charizard. That's really good. So they don't have Team Yells. They don't have Crushing Hammers. They don't have any way to attach energy from their deck or their discard pile. They're basically screwed. And they don't have any way of placing damage counter on our Pokemon or poisoning special conditions. Those are our weaknesses. The weakness is basically the nullifiers. You know, if they can nullify all 3 layers of our curses, then they win the game. So if they can get through all 3 lines of attack, which is all 3 plagues, all the 3 plagues from our end, then they win the game. Because if we can't place damage counters on them, we can't do anything. We can't deal a lot of damages, and if they hamper our energy attachment as well, then we're dead. Oricorio. I'm gonna leave that one. There's no, for the new standard format, there's no Pokemon that can attack on the first turn. I don't think. There is a Pheromosa GX, first raid, but I don't remember from what expansion that is from. I don't think that is allowed in the new standard format anymore. But there is no first raids, I don't think. The only attack that you get to use on your first turn, if you go first, my bad, if you go first, I forgot to say that, is Fast Flight. Fast Flight from Talonflame V, where you get to discard your hand and draw another 6 cards. So that is the only attack that you get to use on your first turn if you go first. This is not looking too good for us. He's gonna Welder and kill something. 100%. He's gonna welder. If not, I'm probably gonna cut my head off. Flipping Cramorant and it's flipping Spit Shot. Welder, come on Welder, you know you want to. They discarded their hammer, that's very good. One hammer down, 3 to go. Hopefully they don't have all 4 in their deck. Hopefully they don't have 4 in their deck when building it. Okay, no Welder. That's a huge surprise. Flipping Welders and flipping fire decks in their Welders. Okay, this is very bad. We have no supporter cards, we have no Zacian. If only that Oricorio is a Zacian. The reason I don't put 2 Zacians in our deck is because I only have 1 in my collection. If I have 2 in my collection, I would have switched it already. Oricorio is useless. Not all the time, but for this deck, it's better to have a Zacian. Especially when you can't do anything. It's just painful. I used 2 Carolises back to back. Kara. There we go, a welder. Welder. The music's pretty soft, by the way. Let me just check the music real quick. Won't be long. I won't be long. Just 82 though. Why is it so soft? Okay. They knocked out our Joltik, so we get to draw another 3. Do we draw now? Arctozolt. What are we gonna do? We definitely need a Sigilyph. So I'm pretty sure we don't need that little buggy. Not for long. I'm gonna put that one. Should I put a Horror Energy if we draw one? Yep, we didn't draw one, that's fine. Let's put that one. I should have got a Zacian. But if I put a Zacian, if I draw a Zacian and put it in play, I can't attach energy and I can't attack. So I should have discarded that and put that one first. But then this is so temperamental. Wish I have more Roxys now. I wish I have a few hammers actually. Oh, no worries. He can't attack. He can use Double Blaze though. Double Blaze. 40. Yeah, 40. Haha. 2 more energies and you're dead. Green's Exploration. Healer. Oh dear, he's gonna heal. Amelo and Lana does 120 damage healing unless your opponent has a Mimikyu, because Mellow and Lana switch your active Pokemon out before doing the healing. So Mimikyu blocks healing on your opponent's benched Pokemon. So Mellow and Lana's effect does not work. The healing effect does not work, but the switch still works if your opponent has a Mimikyu. Outrage. That's good. We get to discard this one. 70, I think. Yep. What am I gonna do? It's the energy. It's really slow. I'm probably gonna do that. He's gonna heal though. Ah, forgot about the heal. So how much can we do? 70. 10 left. 10, 1, 2, 3, 40. That's really, really low. And he gets to use Crimson Pillar. Crimson Pillar does nothing actually. 1 extra energy attached to it. In addition, your opponent active Pokemon is now burned and confused. Search should attach 5 basic energies. Okay. I'm gonna do that. Just because they have a Nurse Joy, I don't want them to heal that Reshizard back. Okay, we're doing more damage to it, so healing 60 doesn't do much unless he heals 20 on the others. This is the most dangerous one because it's already fully charged and we can't do anything. We basically need to attack it twice at least. Roxy a few times and attack it twice, assuming they don't heal it. They're gonna use a Caitlyn to get the Nurse Joy back, or even get another Nurse Joy from their deck. They're gonna confuse us, I think. If they do that, they don't get damaged. Oh, they're gonna pause the turn. They're saving their GX attack for something. Probably for Crimson Flare when they have energy in their discard pile. At least we get to attach that one. We don't have supporter cards, we can't do anything, but at least we get to attach an energy. Okay, here's to hoping it gets knocked out the next turn or on their turn. Then we get 3 prize cards for hopefully supporters or no Zacians. We can't be using Zacian this late in the game anymore. Hopefully a supporter, a Roxy would be perfect. A Roxy or a Gear or a Galvantula and an energy. So our Biting Whirlpool Curse is doing a lot to their new Pokemons. The Pokemon that they put freshly into play, but the Pokemon that is already charged, we have to use Blow Away Bomb Curse and the Counter Attack Curse. And we have already used up our boss's order. Did they use their Caitlyn? I wasn't paying attention. They did use their Caitlyn, and no Nurse Joy, meaning they saved it. Nurse Joy is saved. I'm gonna save the Roxy then. Should I save the Roxy? Oh my god. He's gonna attack with that one. That's really, really bad. Yeah, let's save the Roxy. First impression, using Roxy would be better because you would be able to get another Sigilyph and attach another energy. But then another choice, which is the one that I took, another route, the weird route that I took is not using Roxy and using it the next turn so that, oh, they're not healing. I should have used the Roxy, damn it. And they're using Double Blaze? What? Why are you using Double Blaze? Oh, they're using Outrage. I see. Smart. They are using our Biting Whirlpool to give themselves an advantage, but not really that smart though. They don't see our Joltik coming. They probably don't know about Galvantula. But Galvantula is a beast. Who is probably regretting now. We have Horror Energy. We just attached our Horror Energy to our Galvantula, so it's a bit silly. But that's the only thing. It's the only card we need to attack with to get to score our win. So no point feeling bad about that. Our next Sigilyph, and we can even use Oricorio. Look at that, 17 times 3. That is 40 plus already. 510, look at that. 510. Killed 2 tag teams to score the win for 6 prize cards. There we go, we won twice with our triple curse deck. Instead of triple poison, it's triple curse. So the horror energy counter attack Rocky Helmet curse, plus the biting whirlpool curse, plus the blow away bomb curse. To score more damage counters, to score more damage boosts with your Psychic Assault and your Shocking Pursuit. So fun fact about this deck is that initially it was called Eerie Bolt, based off of the Horror Energy Eerie and a Lightning type Pokemon with the Speed Energy Bolt. So Eerie Bolt. So originally I wanted to make a deck out of Galvantula because I had a huge interest in the new Vivid Voltage card Galvantula with the attack Shocking Pursuit. So finding a way to make this attack work is quite tricky because how do you stack those damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon as quickly as possible, and how do you stack them up as much as possible? So I've thought about Blow Away Bomb, I've thought about Arctozolt, but I've never thought about Sigilyph. I've never thought about Sigilyph in pair with Galvantula. So eventually those two thoughts, those two deck ideas stumbled together in my brain, and eventually I realized how powerful it would be if Sigilyph were to be used with Galvantula, because Sigilyph, it really stacks up a lot of damage on your opponent's active Pokemon. As long as they attack your Sigilyph, if they don't put damage counters on your Pokemon, if they don't play special conditions, then you can really stack up a huge load of damage counters on them. So the reason Galvantula's attack is better than Psychic Assault attack is because Galvantula does 20 damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. Even though it doesn't have a base damage, it still does more over, you know, as long as you place a lot of damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon. If it's more than 3 damage counters, Galvantula already does more damage with Shocking Pursuit than Sigilyph does with its Psychic Assault attack. So, for example, if your opponent's active Pokemon has 11 damage counters on it, Galvantula does an additional 22 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. Not damage counters, it does 220 damage. For Psychic Assault, it only does 160 damage. 11, 12, 13, 14. Sorry, 140 damage. It does 140 damage if your opponent has 11 damage counters. So a total of 330 Eventually, your opponent will have 33 damage counters stacked on their VMAX or tag team, effectively knocking it out easily if it's a low VMAX or if it's a tag team without any boosts, without any HP boosts. You know, where compared to 250 is not even enough to kill a tag team, you know, without a HP boost. So 250 is very low compared to 330 is what I'm trying to say. And then after that, we also have I also want to talk about the Sigilyph. So usually Sigilyphs have Sigilyph's deck. People usually use Sigilyph in pair with the Wheezing, the old Wheezing, Detention Guess. So if you are not familiar with the Detention Guess, I'll pull it up right now real quick. Detention Guess, there we go. So usually people use Sigilyph in pair with Detention Guess. I just want to go real quickly with the deck formation here. So the way I came about using these 3 cards. So the way I came about it is by recalling how each of these 3 curses are used. So the first curse that we are going to talk about is Sigilyph. So usually Sigilyphs, usually people use Sigilyph in pair with this Wheezing. So they use the Sigilyph's ability with Horror Energy with Spell Tag. You know, in the old decks, Spell Tag was still valid in the standard format, and Spell Tag was very useful because if your Sigilyphs gets knocked out, you get to place 4 damage counter on any of your opponent's Pokemon as long as it gets knocked out and it is your active, I think. Yep, and it is your active. So 4 damage counter is much more than Rocky Helmet 2 damage counters. But Rocky Helmet allows you to keep doing 20, allows you to keep attacking, allows you to keep placing 2 damage counter on your opponent's attacking Pokemon as long as your Sigilyph stays alive. Whereas Spell Tag is, the condition is your Sigilyph has to be knocked out, so it's quite different. But I prefer Spell Tag because you get to place 4 in any way you like. Whereas Rocky Helmet is only 2 on the attacking Pokemon. You don't get to choose. So detention, but for the new standard format, we don't get to choose whether we want to use Spell Tag or Rocky Helmet. The reason is Spell Tag is no longer standard, so we have no choice there. We can only use Rocky Helmet. So the old Sigilyphs is used in pair with this Wheezing. The reason is this Wheezing stacks up a lot of damage over the turns. Over turns, if this is your active Pokemon, you place 1 damage counter on each of your opponent's basic Pokemon, and Splattering Sludge does a lot as well. Splattering Sludge allows you to do 40 on your opponent's active and 20 on each of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. So usually people use this in pair with the Sigilyph, but the bad thing about that deck is Sigilyph's ability doesn't get to be activated on the same turn with Wheezing, meaning if you pass the turn with Wheezing's Detention Gas activating its ability, then you don't get to use Sigilyph's ability on your opponent's turn. When your opponent attacks Wheezing, they don't get damaged. You don't get to activate counter attack at the same time as Detention Gas. Sorry. So you can't activate those 2 abilities at the same time simultaneously. It is not possible. But it does make a huge difference in terms of turn after turn. You know, consecutively after Wheezing gets knocked out, they are, by the time Wheezing gets knocked out, usually they are very heavily wounded. Each of their Pokemon are very heavily wounded. There's a lot of damage counters on each of them, and you don't really need much to knock all of them out. You know, you don't need much to knock each of them out with your Sigilyph or with any other V cards, Psychic V cards, you know. Usually people use this one. But you don't see a lot of Sigilyphs used with Arctozolt. I don't think I've ever seen anyone use Sigilyph in pair with Arctozolt. The most common one that you see with Arctozolt is with Cursula. So Arctozolt used in pair with Cursula, with Zigzagoon maybe. I'm not sure, but Cursula V allows you to place 3 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon if your Cursula is an active Pokemon and if your opponent attaches an energy on that Pokemon. So it's an additional 3 instead of just 2 with Arctozolt. The bad thing about Cursula V is that you don't get to stack those damage counters. It only works if your Cursula is the active, whereas Arctozolt's ability, you get to place it anywhere, it gets activated anyways. So Arctozolt you get to stack, Cursula V you don't get to stack, but you get to, you know, put them together. You get to add, you know, you get to what do you call that? You get to put them together in the deck and cause a greater boost to your Biting Whirlpool effect. So usually Arctozolt used with Cursula V, usually Sigilyph used with Detention Gas, and usually we don't see, Blow Away Bomb used together with maybe Chandelier, the old Chandelier. I can't remember what it's called, the attack, but it allows you to do 20 extra damage for each damage counter on all of your opponent's Pokemon. So the more damage counter all of your opponent Pokemon have, all together, the more that attack does to your opponent's active Pokemon. So that's what Chandelier's attack do. So it either people usually use this with Zigzagoon though. Zigzagoon with the ability, Obstagoon with the ability that allows you to place 3 damage counter as you evolve it, and also has the attack that protects it from basic Pokemon. So Koffing, Wheezing, Blow Away Bomb, Roxy with Obstagoon, Zigzagoon, and the Snipe Shot ability. And then Oricorio is very flexible, but we don't want Oricorio in this deck. As I said, we want 2 Zacians, we want 2 Zacians. It's better that way because Zacian allows you to speed draw at the very beginning, which is what we need, which is essential, because beginning we don't have Sonias, we only have Quick Balls, we have not many Quick Balls, only 2, and only 2 Pokemon communications as well. So basically that is how this deck is made of. It's a mesh of 3 different decks, 3 different curses, you know. And I thought about it. It kind of occurred to me that it really works well together. I first stumbled upon Galvantula with Sigilyph, and then all of a sudden Sigilyph, I realized how powerful it would be if I pair Sigilyph with Arctozolt and then pair it with Blow Away Bomb as well. Initially I didn't want to add Blow Away Bomb because Roxy, it really hampers your deck formation. You know, it restricts the spaces by a lot because you need 12 cards for Roxy to work. But the reason I put all 12 instead of just 9, instead of 3 of each, I put all 12, as I've explained earlier, is because Roxy's the Blow Away Bomb curse. The Blow Away Bomb curse is the most important curse because we get to activate it instead of our opponent. You know, we get to activate it on our turn. So it is a curse that we have the most control over. Rather than counterattack where they have to attack us before they get damaged, and Biting Whirlpool where they have to attach energy from their hand for them to get damaged, we are the one that discard our Koffing, Wheezing with our Blow Away Bomb. So I think that's enough explanation for this deck. It has a very high success rate unless you're up against a lot of hammers, then you're basically screwed. Or you're up against snipe, you know, any snipers where for example they use Darmanitan VMAX that attacks your bench instead of your active Pokemon, that targets your bench Pokemon, you know, or if they attack all of your Pokemon across all boards by a lot or a little at a time and eventually kills all. If they have a Pikachu Zekrom, then, you know, I'm sorry, this deck is not that effective. But if otherwise, it would be pretty, you know, strong, especially against VMAXs, against those decks, you know, decks where they have a lot of tag teams, VMAX, Vs, or GXs, then it's very effective. If it's against decks like the I can't remember what it's called, the Tea Party deck, Mad Party deck, I don't think it would be that effective. But actually, Mad Party, you can use Blow Away Bomb. Blow Away Bomb would actually kill the Mad Party deck. So it really depends. But if they have a lot of Crushing Hammers or Team Yells or any attacks that destroy that puts your energy back into your hand or discards your energy, then that would be really, really bad for this deck. So because that is its weakness. You need 2 energy to attack for all of your Pokemon. For both attacking Pokemons, you need 2 energy, and that is a lot. And you don't have any trainer cards to find those energies, so you better draw them with your Roxy. You better draw them with your Roxy or your Marnie or your Bird Keeper. So that is, it's a very tricky deck to use actually, and it really depends on which opponent you're being matched with. But for me, it has a relatively high success rate, but not as high as the Lizzie. So in the next deck, I'm gonna be demoing Lizzie 3.0. I'm gonna rename this Lizzie 3.0 and Lizzie 4.0. For the next deck, we're gonna be reviewing Lizzie 3.0, which features the card Charizard from Vivid Voltage, Leon's Charizard, and Magneton with the Call Signal ability. So we have other combos. It matches with other Pokemon and other item cards, but basically those 2 cards are the same for these 3 decks. Magneton Call Signal ability with Charizard Vivid Voltage. Those 2 cards are the same across these 3 variations, but the other cards are kind of different, and the numbers, the arrangements are different as well, and the gameplay is very different as well, and the success rate is different as well. Gameplay is quite tricky for version 3.0. Version 4.0 gameplay, version 4.0 I haven't optimized it yet, and gameplay is a bit is slightly tricky, but not as tricky as 3.0. But basically 2.0 is the easiest to play. When you play it, gameplay is not that difficult. There's not many decisions you need to make, especially even when you're in a tight spot. There's not much you can do, you know. There's not much you need to decide. There's not much you need to think about. But as with every game, you have a lot of choices. But basically for this one, you don't have much to think about. That's what I'm trying to say. For this one, you have a lot to think about because you have a lot of choices. That is the base thing about this deck. The best thing about this deck is that it's very flexible, very versatile. You have a lot of choices. For this one, I'm not quite sure yet because it's not optimized. So we're gonna talk about this deck on the next video. Hopefully you join us and you get to see how it works and how tricky it is and how fun you get to play it with. So that is all for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you find it helpful or entertaining. And don't forget to leave your feedbacks, challenges, or questions down in the comment section below. And also check the description for some promo codes or whatever codes that we might have. And also check it for any updates for future decks or any deck list updates that I might add, or any other things in the description. Just check it, you know. And we'll see you next time in our next video pretty soon. Bye now.